I have traveled at various cities, not as an actor, but as an author. I had to rehearse a lot before saying author. Now I have the right pronunciation, author. So if you keep hearing author in my speech, that means because I've learnt it. It's a very interesting. I had a very interesting journey as an actor. Very interesting journey, because when you come from a lower middle class family and then you have only dreams and then you finally make it or make some of those dreams come true, you find that the journey has been as a journey should be, with lots of ups and downs. But as long as you are moving forward, as long as you think that the bend in the road is not the end of the road, you constantly feel that you're moving ahead. So you look back at your life, though there is another 40 years to look back at my life completely, but still whatever I have achieved has been very gratifying, and well-wishers, God has played a very important role. But at least that journey I had always thought of from my childhood, whether it was my first play where I completely messed up my lines, or my last film which did not do well, something. So, but I knew that I'm an actor, and 440, 450 films is enough of that proof that one has really, really worked hard. But never in my wildest dreams I ever thought that I will be writing a book. So there was no agenda, and I thought that okay, after doing movies in India, I may get a movie in Britain, or I may get a movie in Hollywood. But all the process, the journey was only towards as an actor, writer, producer, director, but never an author, because how can a person who has got not more than 38% marks ever in his exams ever think of writing a book? Okay, then also even if I thought writing a book, it would be about my life in cinema or my autobiography. But to write a book on self-help or motivational book, it was not on my agenda at all. But life makes you do lots of things. That's why my play is called Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai. I do a play based on my life, basically based on my life's disasters, failures, setbacks. And I laugh at those incidents that happen in my life. I don't know how many of you have seen my play, but it's called Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai. And Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai has become a philosophy. Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta means anything can happen. Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta has become a philosophy of my life. It makes me optimistic, it makes me believe in things that can happen which you never thought. But what the book says, basically, that in today's world, the world always tries to make you feel smaller by thinking that somebody else is doing better than you. They're always trying to make you feel underachievers. That what you are achieving is nothing as compared to what so-and-so is achieving. So you are always growing up with the feeling of dissatisfied. You are not happy with what is happening to your life. In other words, you are leaving your happiness in somebody else's hands. And as long as you leave your happiness in somebody else's hands, people will make sure that you are unhappy. The media, the market is constantly trying to tell you that you are living in a dangerous world. Breaking news is always about horrible things, rapes, scams, people getting beaten up outside a 5-star hotel, and every time you are made to feel wars. Iraq war, Iran war is about to happen, oil thing. So you are made to feel that you are living in a world which is frightening. And it's making you more and more closer to yourself. But it's a frightened man who is closer to himself or herself. It's not a liberated man. So where do you draw your strength from? You draw your strength from not somebody outside. You have to draw your strength from yourself. And the easier thing that in the world that you have to do, you have to be yourself. Now how can you be yourself? By telling the truth to yourself. We are always, if there is a deficiency we think we have, if there is a drawback we think we have, that's how the world will think that you have a drawback. If you don't think that this is the problem you have, then the world will not think. So, strength, belief, confidence, you need to build up. I always believe that parents are telling their children to be somebody else. सो एंड सो सन, बेटा वो देख कितना अच्छा, वो डायलॉग भी अच्छे बोलता है किसी फिल्म के, रेस में फर्स्ट भी आता है, पढ़ता भी अच्छा है, तू ऐसा क्यों नहीं है? सो यू आर एक्चुअली टेलिंग योर चाइल्ड to be somebody else right from when he's a child. You have no time basically to answer his questions. I was lucky that I was born in a family where there were 14-15 people living in two small rooms. So I used to bump into somebody or the other with my questions, and somebody or the other was always with an answer, right, wrong or indifferent, but there was an answer. So I could only write this book because of the childhood that I lived. I lived a very, very happy childhood in the sense that my parents did not know which class I was in. My father did not ever know what standard I was in, what were my subjects. Poor fellow was constantly busy in earning money enough to sort of make two ends meet. But he was there on my 5th standard play, looking at me with great amount of pride, almost a stupid expression on his face. You see, when all you parents go and see your children's expression of the play, he's in the 7th row, 7th from right, and you're only looking at him, and you must watch your expressions, how idiotic you look, and see. So the only difference with my father was that his expression did not change right from my 5th standard play till the last film that he saw. It has the same pride, humorous expression. So when you live in a family like that, where people are not really aware of your thing. I used to leave at 8 in the morning and come back at 8 in the night. Nobody bothered about it. Can you send your child at 8 o'clock in the morning and see whether he is coming back or not? But I'm not saying the times have changed, but you don't need to change. You need to be yourself. Personality, according to me, is to be able to be happy with what you are. I always give this example of my grandfather once eating, and he was making a sound while eating. You know, while eating he was making a sound. So my mother, who was his daughter-in-law, she told my grandfather, he said, "Babuji, क्या कर रहे हो? आप कितनी आवाज करते हो खाते वक्त?" तो my grandfather said, "मुझे तो मजा आ रहा है, प्रॉब्लम तुम्हारी है." So that's the only way to live in today's world is, number one, to be yourself, and number two, to be optimistic. If you're optimistic, the biggest problems look smaller to you, and smallest of joy becomes big to you. It's the easiest thing. You see, all people say that I'm depressed. Depression is a luxury of thinking people. You know, I'm depressed, I'm sad, she dropped me like a heartbreak, something like that. Nobody loves me. अंधेरा कर दो, थोड़ा लाइट कम कर दो जरा यार, दाढ़ी बढ़ा लो थोड़ी सी, एक दो थोड़ा और बना, पानी कम डाल. So depression is a luxury of people who are thinking, nothing worked out about my life. A man on the street has no such luxury. He is waiting, basically working hard to earn his bread. Sadness, go through this emotion of sadness, depression, but don't indulge in it. You lose yourself when you try to be somebody else. People who pretend actually don't like themselves. You know what you need to do. Tell the truth. How strange that all those stories which our grandparents told us or our parents told us, be straight, be honest, be truthful, are actually the best thing that can happen to you. Because when you are telling the truth, you don't have to remember it. That's the best thing about the truth.